Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of 1990's Represent. We're starting out our eighth cycle of 1999 with an album. In this episode, we're talking about the Battle of Los Angeles by Rage Against the Machine. I believe this is their third studio album. I also think it's the last studio album they put out that was entirely original content or entirely original songs, because their next album, which came out I think in 2000, called Renegades, was all covers. I really like Renegades. I kind of rank it at the bottom of my list though, just because it is not necessarily original content. It's pretty good, I think, overall. I think some of the covers definitely hit harder than others on that album. I don't know. I might cover that album on my 2000 series at some point. But in this episode, we're talking about the Battle of Los Angeles. And I got my notes here. We're going to get through those notes, then get to everything else about this album. Just open the book up here. There we are. There we are. All right, cool. So it was first released November 2nd, 1999. Like I mentioned, last album of original songs, because their next album was a cover album. I think a lot of people, myself included, know about this album, particularly the song "Guerrilla Radio" for being included on the soundtrack to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. That was the first time I heard the song. I think there was a couple songs that I knew or had been introduced to through soundtracks. So I didn't listen to this album when it first came out. I think I maybe listened to it in 2003, I want to say. So Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, right when you turn the game on, you're hit with Guerrilla Radio. It's iconic, very well known song. And then on the soundtrack to The Matrix Reloaded, off of this album, they featured the song "Calm Like a Bomb," and it was kind of interesting because on the original Matrix film, they included "Wake Up" on that Matrix soundtrack. And then in the sequel, they included another Rage Against the Machine song. I think it was covered by, I think, was it Brass Against, I think, in the, whatever the most recent Matrix movie was, because it was The Matrix, Matrix Reloaded, Matrix Revolutions, and was it like Matrix Resurrected? I forget what the fourth one was called, but a cover of Wake Up was used on that as well. But this, I actually rank this album here out of their discography at number two. So my rankings for their albums are their original 1992 release, absolutely at the top, just an iconic album from them. Then I do Battle of Los Angeles, Battle of Los Angeles, and then Evil Empire after that, very slightly below this one. Like Evil Empire and this one are very, very close. Like, but they can easily just like switch positions and it would be fine. And then at four, I have Renegades. The album artwork was done by an artist, or a graffiti artist, I should say, known as I think the Street Phantom is one of the names that he goes by, and does a lot of work in like outline. How on the album there you have the guy kind of fist in the air and the black outline there. He does a lot of stuff with that style. The album debuted at number one on the Billboard 200. And then Guerrilla Radio ended up winning a Grammy in 2001. Because I think, this came out in November, so it would have missed the Grammy cutoff for the 2000 Grammys. But in 2001, it ended up winning a Grammy for Best Hard Rock Performance for Guerrilla Radio. I think also that year, both Time and Rolling Stone had this album as their best album of 1999. All right, we can close the notebook. We're going to jump into our reviews, and then we'll get to our track list here. Or before we do that, Rage Against the Machine is probably a band I probably will not get the opportunity to see. We came close because I think I guess it was 6 years ago now. We bought tickets to see them. They weren't playing here, so we were going to see them I think it was either St. Louis or Kansas City. I don't remember exactly where. I think it was one of those two cities. But that tour obviously got postponed a good year or two, and our show was one of the first shows on that tour. Like it was like within like the first like few like couple weeks of the show of the tour, first 2 or 3 weeks. And then when they eventually did tour, they swapped the beginning of the tour cities for the end of the tour. So basically, they just reversed the order of shows. So basically, the first show became last, the last show went first, and so on. So yeah, we would have been on the very end of that tour, but then Zach De La Rocha, the lead singer for the band, hurt. I think it was like his Achilles, and they ended up canceling the rest of the tour. So if they didn't switch the order of the dates or the performances, we would have probably been able to go see that. But unfortunately, like that is something that a band I probably will not get to see, unfortunately. And I really, really was looking forward to that. But let me pull up the reviews here for this, and then we'll get to our track listing. It came out to pretty good reviews overall, like pretty high reviews. So AllMusic has it at a 4 out of 5. Entertainment Weekly give it an A. The Houston Chronicle comes in with a 4 out of 5. Yeah, so LA Times 4 out of 4. NME kind of with a 7 out of 10. I think that's like the lowest review on here is a 7 out of 10 from them. An 8.7 out of 10 from Pitchfork. Rolling Stone with a 4 out of 5. However, the Rolling Stone Album Guide a little bit better with a 5 out of 5 from them. Spin with a 9 out of 10, and USA Today with a 4 out of 4. And let's see what the track list. 12 tracks here for about 45 minutes in runtime. That's kind of, like I said, my perfect length for an album is between like 30 to 45 minutes because I can listen to them on a commute, finish the entire album, and not have to like resume it later or anything like that. So yeah, we got 12 tracks here. Track 1 is Testify. Track 2, Guerrilla Radio, just an iconic track there. Definitely helped made more popular by Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. But yeah, one of the most iconic tracks on the album. Track 3 is Calm Like a Bomb. That one is amazing as well. Track 4 is Mic Check. Track 5, another high point of this album, is this track here. Track 5, Sleep Now in the Fire. That was great. Track 6 is Born of a Broken Man. That was also really good. Track 7 is Born as Ghosts. Track 8 is Maria. Track 9 is Voice of the Voiceless. That was classic as well. Track 10 is New Millennium Homes. Track 11 is Ashes in the Fall. And closing out the album with track 12 is War Within a Breath. So yeah, I would definitely say this is one of their better albums. I would say, like, I think, like, yeah, because they only did, like 4, and then every time they've got back together over the years, they kind of just get together and tour. I don't think they've ever done any new music. But yeah, I rank this one kind of right behind their debut. I think Rage Against the Machine, their 1992 album, is like basically a perfect album. I rank that one very highly. And this one's kind of like right behind it. But then Evil Empire is right on the heels of this one. Like I said, they could easily swap positions in my list, and it would be completely fine. And then Renegades after that. But yeah, that is going to do it for this video. We'll be back in a few days covering a 1999 movie before jumping into another video game from 1999. And then we'll be starting all over again with our 9th cycle, starting back with 1990 and going all the way through the decade again. I'm really looking forward to that. So, again, yeah, that's going to do it for now. So remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We'll see you again next time. Thanks again for watching. Take care and have a good one. See ya.